So you guys remember my character Charon, right? So I decided to draw another character, but this time existing in the same world that he exists in. So without further ado, let's get started. Hey guys, it's JL Phoenix, and today I'm going to be drawing another random character. So this character that I'm drawing is named Dione. As far as the story that I have between Dione and Charon is that the two of them are siblings, not like related siblings, but they're brother and sister. They grew up together. And they kind of sort of had a bit of a falling out with each other and are on opposite sides right now. That's as far as I got for their story at the moment. It's not like anything that's like super deep just yet, but that's kind of what I have so far. Oh, I forgot to add that the two of them in the world that they're in, or at least in the story that I had so far in my head, neither of them are actually good guys in the story, so that makes it even more crazier in my opinion, because I'm like, oh yeah, they're actually the bad guys of the story. The vague story I have in my head that I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with. So when it came to coming up with the concept of Dione, is that I managed to come across a couple images I saw on Pinterest that I was like, ooh, I could put these together and make a character out of it. So I wanted to continue the theme that I started with Charon with the mix of sci-fi and fantasy. I don't think I talked about that in full in the video. Yeah, I didn't talk about that in the video, if I remember correctly, but I'm going to talk about it here. So for her outfit, I kind of wanted to reflect a little bit of that. I don't think, me personally, I feel like I didn't make it like fantasy, sci-fi-y enough, but oh well, it is what it is. I guess technically it should actually be fantasy and tech wear. That should technically be what it is, but But after I gathered the references that I needed, I went ahead and started sketching them and kind of combining the ideas together. I already had like a visual of how I wanted her to look, but that I still kind of did some like, trial and error. It's like, oh, what if I did this? What if I did that? And I also had an idea that like in her hand, she would have like this little like power ball in it or something like that. I don't know what to call it. It's like energy or something. I don't know. And this time around, because sometimes what happens when I'm drawing these, especially if I'm drawing it in like one session, I end up like forgetting that I wanted to add a certain detail to it, and that like by the time I finish, I'm like, oh crap, I didn't add that detail. But this time around I actually did that. Made sure to remind myself, hey, don't forget to add the little power ball thingy so that way you can see she got powers. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got that. I made sure to do that as I was adding the effects and stuff, but you'll see that when we get to that part towards the end of the video, when we get to the background and all of that. So for the outlines of Dione, I ended up realizing that I actually didn't use the same brush that I used for Charon. So I was just like, oh okay. And mind you, I didn't realize this till like after I finished the drawing, so it's too late now. I already finished. As for the coloring, I did the same thing that I did for Charon's coloring, where I started off with the grays, did all the shading and stuff that way, and then I overlaid and masked and overlaid the colors on top of that. So when it came to picking the colors for Dione, I actually had a bit of trouble trying to pick out the colors I want. Because on one hand, I wanted to use red and white, but I also was like, man, I kind of want to use some other colors in here too. So I just kind of did like trial and error, especially when it came to her hair, because I was just like, I don't actually know what to color your hair. I was like, I don't really want it to be blue. And I was like, and I kind of don't really want it to be pink either, or magenta, or any other types of colors. I was like, I don't know. But I played around with the colors a bit, and also messed with the hues and the saturation, all that stuff, just so I can try and find a color that I really wanted to work with as well. All the way until I was eventually satisfied with each of the color choices that I picked.